Very good. And for those of you who are cold, you can come and sit in the hot seat. Or what often I ask people to do, because there's air cons and there's fans and stuff, there's always going to be parts of this hall which are hotter and parts which are cold. So you can always find that part of this hall, your favourite place, which is just not too hot, not too cold. And that's where you can find in this hall here. Just like in places like our monastery, just the cat. You always know where the coolest place is during the hot weather. That's where the cat sleeps. And the cold weather, the warmest place, that's where the cat is. So they move around to find the best place. So that's what we should do as well. So don't just sit here and just complain, oh, it's too cold. We just move a little bit over there out of the wind of the air cons or whatever, and you find it's just nice for you. Okay, I think most people are here now. So, first of all, the usual announcement that if you've come for the first time here for the Introduction to Meditation class, that class is being held in the room to my right. And that's where people prepare themselves by having shorter meditation sits, not going so long, and giving more basic instructions so that people who've never meditated before can actually get the introduction into the basic ways of meditating. And here is where we continue on from those basic classes so that people can sit, first of all, for longer periods of time, for about 45 minutes, and also to get some other instructions about what to do while you are meditating. And of course there's many different things to say about the meditation, but one of the things which comes to mind today, if anyone ever feels ill or sick when you're meditating, there's a lot of things you can do by yourself in order to don't ever think of it as overcoming any sicknesses, but just alleviating it and helping the whole process of your body dealing with the symptoms. And one of those is to be able to be so aware of the body that you can learn how to relax the body. Okay, here's one of those great anecdotes, and again, usually I say these anecdotes on retreats, so those of you who come on the meditation retreats would have heard these anecdotes before. That was of the monk who had the pain in his back because he had congenital defect in his spine. And how he overcame that was a very brilliant process. He saw it in a book somewhere, but how he overcame that was becoming aware, mindful of muscles on either side of his spine, which most people aren't aware of. So the first exercise he had to do was actually to take his fingers, or a couple of fingers, and actually stroke those muscles on the back, and do that as a regular exercise, until after many weeks that he had awareness of those muscles. Any neuroscientist knows that when you have awareness of a particular part of the body, when you touch part of the body, you actually build up neural connections. So after a while you can feel that muscle without needing to touch it. And of course, there's much of our body which we're just not aware of because we don't need to be. So he learned, just by some practice, how to feel those muscles. Once he could be aware of those muscles on either side of his spine, just like you're aware of your knees or how cold or hot the skin is. Once he was aware of that, then it was a trial and error to learn how to move those muscles, how to stretch them, how to let them go. He learned, again, you can't teach that, just try a bit of this, try a bit of that, try a bit of something else, until you could actually move those muscles at will. That took him another few months, And then afterwards, the last part of the therapy, if you wish to call it that, was regular exercise of those muscles. I can just move my arm up, move my arm down. I don't know where I learnt that, but you can do that. And that's what he did with his muscles on either side of the spine. Stretch them, relax them, stretch them, relax them, stretch them, relax them. And of course, if you do regular exercise like that, the muscles become strong. And now they are so strong that they fully compensate the weakness in the spine. Problem solved. And that was a wonderful little example of how, with a little bit of mindfulness, a bit of experimentation, trial and error is the best word. Mindfulness giving you feedback. It's you can feel those muscles. They've stretched, they've loosened, they've stretched, they've loosened. And because of that very simple exercise, took a long time, commitment, eventually he can now just move those muscles whenever he wants. Exercise. Now that's the same with people who have other little aches and pains in their body. Things like irritable bowel syndrome, or other sort of aches and pains, even arthritis. Interestingly, because apparently this little method helped and actually cured a lady of arthritis over in Eastern Europe. But how we do it, we feel our body. If there's any problem there, a wound which needs to be healed, a ache, a pain, or in this particular case, say irritable bowel syndrome or something, you focus on that. And you just learn. Once you're aware of it, once you can feel it, then we learn just how to move it around. To relax this, relax that. And once you can learn how to do that, to relax this, relax that, then you can actually have this ability just to take part of the body and just to ease it off. Find out what to do in order to ease that irritation in the bowel, that ache and pain, that inflammation just in an arm, or you have a sore stomach. Because I say this because it's just what I was talking about before I came in here. That as a monk, you're not really supposed to ask for special foods or say what you like. That was what I was told by Ajahn Chai. Just eat it and just see what happens. But every now and again, after so many years, that you tend to get sort of sore tummies. And so I was in Indonesia once, and very tight schedule. I don't know what I ate, but it was something which was really irritating. And this particular time, I managed to get to the room, to the toilet, before you threw up. And very, very sick. And you only had about 3 or 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and then up early in the morning and take a flight to the next destination. Because there's no island hopping in Malaysia. No, sorry, in Singapore, in Indonesia, to see as many sort of places as possible to give talks. Very tight schedule. So I knew that, you just felt so sick that how am I going to get some sleep tonight and to be ready for the next day? And so, you did this meditation stuff. So, after, evacuating my stomach as much as possible, by vomiting many times, then you lay down in bed and still felt the queasiness, in your stomach. And then we just learn how to relax it. Once you can feel it, and then, you learn a little bit of loving kindness, a bit of letting go, relaxation, so that even with a really sore tummy, you can get about 4 hours of sleep. And you woke up. As soon as I woke up, after that's good enough, then straight to the toilet to get rid of the rest of it. And that's a wonderful way. You have a very deep, peaceful sleep because you know how to work your body with some mindfulness and know how to relax things. So a lot of times that has really helped me over my life as a monk. And of course, hopefully it can help each one of you. And it's not only for good health. It's actually it goes to the heart of what this meditation really is, the awareness and the kindness, which brings around some stillness to your body, relaxation, peace to the body. And once you can get still and peaceful, it's not a lazy state. It's not like an inert state. It's not like you should be doing something. It's a very positive thing, doing nothing. Because what happens is that the body has a chance to do its stuff, to be able to relax. And that's where we have what in the meditation retreat I call the hotspot syndrome. When you're meditating, this will only happen, if you get very, very peaceful. And then you find part of your body, for what you think is an inexplicable reason, gets very warm. And it could be in your stomach, it could be in your chest, it could be in your back. And so those hot spots, sometimes people say, well, what the heck are they? And that's all that the body's innate wisdom, when you let it do its job, it will send energy to where it's needed. All the classic stories of people who had, what's really common is apparently is just this hot spots in the shoulders and neck. Because whiplash injury in cars. Because many people have car accidents these days. And so this particular injury, whiplash, you can do some exercise, you can take medication, do some good sort of physiotherapy. But then sometimes people are meditating, and then what happens is they get these hot spots in their neck. And afterwards, I always ask them, how do you feel? Great, I feel so relaxed up there. Yeah, exactly, because what's happened is the energy of your body, you can call it chi. That's the Chinese, in India it's called wata, the winds of the body. They go there and they just do their job to heal it. Once you get out of the way, once you let it happen. Or at the other time, which you may see in meditation, if you do some long meditations, sometimes your posture changes. It's one of the reasons I say you don't need to force the posture to be like this or to be like that. Just get comfortable and then let the body do the rest. And sometimes that people will twist around. Again, that's a classic case, one of these retreats, this was in North Perth, and the Redemptorist Monastery. We used to use that for our retreat centre. And this lady was so twisted around that when I was alerted, one of the people just told me, look at her, she is going to probably have to go to hospital, twisted around like that. So I waited for her to come out of her meditation and asked her, how are you? I feel fabulous, she said. And then, a little bit of questioning. She had been in a very, very bad car accident, lucky to come out alive, and, so many injuries there. But, what her body needed to do, needed to twist in a way which I cannot demonstrate. I'd have to go to hospital, to allow to see energies to actually open up. And just to get a channel through there so her body could heal. And all the time, your body's own wisdom is just so immense that sometimes we block it. This can't be right. So you're twisting around, no, come on, get straight up. You're bending down, no, straighten up. And we interfere a lot with our body. So a lot of times, if we can just learn how to let go, just to be aware. I don't mean being asleep. Be aware, but don't control. And then we find our body learns how to move itself this way and that way, so it can just deal with the many difficulties which the body sometimes faces, and just overcome them if you have got no other thing to do. And it's wonderful to be able to do that. At the same time, it teaches you the importance of how to be aware. And how to relax, how to let things go, not to be so stressed. And of course, I often use a simile of guitar string. And the guitar string stretched so tight, something hits it. And of course it makes a sound. But if you loosen both ends, so there's no tension on it at all, both ends are loose, something hits it, makes no sound at all. And that's called like the secret of resilience. we have many things hit us in life, metaphorically and also literally. And why do we sort of react so much? Because we're so tight, so stretched, so stressed. And if we can lessen both ends, relax, let go. And then you find life throws things at you, makes no sound at all. It doesn't resonate, it doesn't create a problem. And you find that sometimes if you're really on edge, you really come here because you really want some meditation, you just had a really difficult day, and then you're so tight and tense that somebody bangs the door, or they make a big loud cough or something, and that really upsets you. It's not the door which was the problem, but your guitar string, your mind was just so tight that the smallest thing just makes you upset. So this is when we learn how to relax and loosen up. Not only do we get really good health, but also we tend to get not so much anger, not so much fighting the world, because we don't have to. That the world doesn't make such a huge impact on us. So that way we get quite peaceful, and then we take it even deeper. The same ideas, the same method, just first with your body, and then just with your emotional world. I always say that many people say let go of the past, let go of the future. Those are the past and the future. That's what stretches your guitar strings. Just all the stuff which happened to you in the past, like this big heavy weight, pulling you one way. And this fears of the future, the plans, pulling you the other way. The past and future stretching out so tight. So we let those things go. And then it's peaceful. We're in the present moment, but if you've still got a very tight mind, small thing, and of course it disturbs the present moment, and you're not comfortable there. So a little bit of relaxation, mindfulness gives you that feedback. You can feel. You know what works, what doesn't work. And little by little, taking time, because this is not just 30 minutes, 45 minutes and you're enlightened. This is a life's work. But of course it's really worth it. Simply because it does give you really nice health, good wisdom. And it's not just wisdom which you can write books about. It's not just so you can show how smart you are over a cup of coffee and win the arguments. This is about learning how to be in good physical health and good mental health. They can be peaceful, wise, happy. Good health. Learning how to be aware and let go. And really great things happen. Deep in meditation. Okay, now I'm watching the breath. Now what should I do? Oh, come on. Same thing all the way. Just be aware and let go. But if I got so far, if I let go now, it'll all fall apart. If you try and control, it all falls apart. It's learning how to relax. How can you relax if you're controlling? So learn how to let go. Let it be. And you'll be surprised just how the mind reacts into going deeply, deeply peaceful. The body opens up and gets very, very peaceful and healthy. And everything else works. It's great, because it's not that somebody promises you something, after you die. You feel it right now. And for those of you who know a little bit of basic Buddhism, not basic, the Pali, that's what it means, the Sandittika. You can experience it right now, in this life. Don't have to worry if you're back in the correct horse, so you go to the right heaven after you die. You don't know. So I know some people go to every church. That's called spreading the risk. But here, we don't do that. We just learn how just to be in this life. What works, what makes us peaceful, relaxed, healthy, happy. And from there, you're going in the right direction. Okay, so there we go. So now we can actually do some meditation. Again, I will usually lead the first part of the meditation. And you don't have to follow me all the way, but just for most people it just gets you uh, into the beginnings of the meditation, so you don't wander off all over the place mentally. And secondly, if those of you who don't want to listen to what I'm saying because you've done it many times before, you just need to have the opportunity. You don't need to listen. You don't even need to put earplugs in. You just say, I'm not paying attention. You can do that. I remember this man who said, it took me about 3 or 4 years of marriage, but now I could hear my wife without listening to her. That's what he said to me. So you can do that, to a wife. You can do that to me. So during guided meditations, you can just zone out. Okay, it works both ways, by the way. It's not sort of sexist. So anyway, if you'd like to get yourself, close your eyes. Those who want to zone out from me, no worries. So with your eyes closed, just develop some basic awareness of your body, how you're sitting. This is a bit of awareness, a bit of kindness. The awareness and the kindness together create wisdom. Knowledge does not create wisdom. If you go by knowledge, you probably think that you have to sit cross-legged in full lotus straight back, not moving. Chairs are only for the namby-pamby cream puffs. That's what some people say, which is a lot of rubbish. You feel your body. You know what is the best posture for you. No, maybe no other person sits in a posture like that in the whole world. Doesn't matter. You feel this is right. It's okay to lean against a pillar, against the wall, against the backrest. It's okay to lean up forward. Soon you find out what your body requires. If you are aware, and you allow that awareness to give you the feedback, and you trust that more than some expert, and then to refine the awareness and kindness of your body by legs. Be aware of your legs. And when some people say, how are you mindful? What is mindfulness? Just ask a question. Legs, how do you feel? As soon as I ask that, I get an answer. Knees, how are you? And then I listen for the answer, another metaphor for mindfulness. And I'm aware of just how my knees feel. And if there's a problem, I just deal with it. I don't just ignore it and just try and hope it goes away or be a tough guy. I've seen too many of my friends, tough guys, just have problems with their knees or their I don't know what else, backs, and have to go hospital. I'm really aware and kind, sensitive to all the messages which my own body is sending to me, and I take action. And once my legs, including my feet, are all it's pretty good. Then go to the butt, bottom awareness, simply because a lot of times that people don't pay enough attention. so they sit and have to squirm or fidget later on. And then I go up to my back. Once my butt is comfortable, I've checked it out. Back, how do you feel? Do you need to be adjusted? Just like that monk learned how to stretch muscles which I don't even know exist. I feel just what needs to be made aware of. Move it this way, move it that way. Every time I learn more awareness, more understanding, more knowledge of how my back feels. And how to keep it comfortable. Aware until I get it in just the right place. Once I'm aware of that, then I can let it go, knowing I have been mindful and kind, cared for it with wisdom. Then hands, making sure those hands are just nice, good place. And again, I don't follow the books and the photos, wherever my hands can feel comfortable down there. Up to my shoulders. Just adjusting my robe so there's no tight pieces. And first of all they feel okay, but then later 15-20 minutes in they start to hurt. So make sure from the very beginning everything is checked out and the shoulders are nice and loose. Just like that guitar string, nothing pulling either end. And you're aware of that. You're aware that things are nice and loose. Best they possibly can. Don't force it. Awareness and kindness is not raising the bar too high. And go to my throat. It's amazing, it's irritations in the throat which cause coughing. You know, you're not suppressing, it's understanding how the irritations work. What makes them worse? What makes them better? It's relaxation, kindness, no fear. Letting it be. Opening the door of your heart to this feeling. All these words saying the same thing. And I can feel the throat relax. And then lastly to my head. Balance on top of the neck. Just feel it's just nice. And the muscles around the eyes and the mouth. It's pretty easy to manipulate those. You can squash them up. You can relax them. It's easy to know how to do that because you've learned from the feedback from mindfulness. So you can take awareness of your facial muscles, feel them, loosen them, until the whole thing is nice and relaxed. So you relax your body, stage by stage. Not perfect, but not bad. Better than it was before. And now, because it carries on part of the instructions at the beginning, see if you can go a quick scan through your body and find out the part which is the most irritating. the pain, the tightness, the irritation, instead of allowing it to drive you crazy, just be with it, not trying to get rid of it. The monster in the Emperor's palace. Welcome, monster, thank you for coming to visit me. And the monster gets an inch smaller. That's the classic awareness and kindness metaphor. If it's not kindness, if it's just get out of here, you don't belong, it gets worse. So your own mindfulness giving you feedback on an irritation, could be a headache, a stomachache, a pain in your body. It teaches you, this is where you get much more wisdom than any book or lecture. Learning from the nature of your own body. You stay with that, the most irritating feeling in your body. Learn from it. Mindfulness, feedback, kindness, patience too. To experience things easing, relaxing, the irritation getting less. A lot of the time you're not doing anything, you're actually just leaving it alone and letting it heal. When you're ready to leave that part alone, go to the mind, do exactly the same thing, aware, how peaceful, how irritated, basically how healthy is your mind, what makes it more irritated, what makes it more peaceful. Get the feedback, just looking at that muscle called the peaceometer, which many people are not aware of. Soon you learn to be really aware of what causes you to be peaceful, what causes you to be irritated. Basic tool which will lead you into the most deepest of meditations. For those who are been meditating or studying Buddhism a long time, this is third Satipatthana. Aware of the mind and what creates peace, what agitates. And if you stay with that long enough, watching your peaceometer, playing around, experimenting, trial and error, until you're aware enough what makes you peaceful. It's real peace, It will start giving energy to mindfulness. You will start to become less sleepy, less dull. And then, those of you who like to watch the breath, will be aware of your breath with ease. I'm now going to be quiet until the end of the meditation. Getting close to the end of the meditation period. How do you feel as we assess the feedback from mindfulness? You don't need to give things names, but you know it's peaceful, body relaxed, at ease. Or opposite, at least to know. And that's how we learn and develop. I'm now going to ring the gong 3 times. At the end of the 3rd ringing of the gong, that's the time we advise to come out for meditation. So, get yourselves comfortable. If you're not comfortable, we have some questions from the internet, because this is the overseas people who watch this live. From USA, UK and Norway. Can the mind be trained in the same way as the body, strengthening certain aspects to compensate for weaker parts, as in strengthening mindfulness by meditation? Would that simply be more thinking? That is your intention to do that, and you're always just checking up on it, of course, it's just too complicated. But the truth of the matter is, yes, of course the mind is trained in the same way as the body. But you exercise certain muscles. The kindness muscle, the letting go muscle, the awareness muscle, for want of a better word. As you become more aware, more kind, more ability to let go, you know what relaxation is? Yes, that does actually grow quite strong. So, but again, don't think about it, just do it. How does one use individual dhammas as medicine during meditation? You don't use them, because that's more like more doing stuff. You just learn just how to let go. If there is, after the meditation, things like impermanence, things arise, it's not me, not mine, not a self, so just let it go. It makes life much easier if a person really understands that very deeply. From Norway, when I'm meditating, I become aware I'm supposed to be relaxed, making my heart beat fast in response. How do I calm it down? The supposed is a problem there. You're aware that I'm supposed to be like this, I'm supposed to be like that. So who said you're supposed to be like this? So just, I'm supposed to be healthy, I'm supposed to be happy. That makes you miserable, trying to be happy. If you stop trying to be happy, then you are happy. It's the cartoon you have over in Jhana Grove. Somebody sent this to me, a great little cartoon. I want to be happy. Well, I want happiness. And there was a cartoon. First, this really angry guy going to the monk, I want happiness. And the monk takes one look at that. Problem number 1, I. And they go with the sense of self. Just part of nature, just let that I go. So he scrubs out the I. And then the sign reads, want, happiness. Second problem, want. So he scrubs that out. And then he holds up the sign, happiness. And then the smiling. It's the I want is the problem. In Dhamma, that's no craving. So this is saying with I become aware that I'm supposed to be relaxed. if you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that, that's not relaxing. Just relax. In other words, wherever you are, oh, okay, good, she's not here. One of the young women, the first woman who got a grumpy license, when she was on a retreat, and she said, I know I'm supposed to be happy, but I feel miserable. And when everyone says, oh, you're supposed to be happy in meditation, I feel such a failure. And I look at everybody else. Everyone else is smiling, and I stand looking at you, you're smiling, that makes me sick. Well, and I said, look, come on, you don't have to be happy. You don't have to be healthy. Just whatever you are. And so she started to get it, but then what I did, I went into the office, which is, if you ever go on any of these retreats at Ajahn Brahm, and apparently there's another weekend retreat coming up next weekend. There's still some places there. That's Ajahn Happy teaching retreat. So there's still some places available apparently on the internet. You can book in quickly. And anyway, so they were just trying to get, trying to be happy. So I went into the office, opened up the computer, quickly got onto the computer, and typed up the very first grumpy license. And it was on letterhead. And I don't know too much about computers, but I could do that pretty quickly. I got Gothic script. Just like if you get your qualifications, as a dentist or as a sort of a degree or something, you just this from Bodhinyana Monastery, this license grants to the following, and I put a name down there, permission to be grumpy at any time for any reason or no reason whatsoever for the rest of her life to the coming of Maitreya Buddha, signed Ajahn Brahm. Or whatever, I just made it up. But the point was I was giving her permission to be miserable. And as soon as I gave it to her, she was laughing her head off, and that was the end of her misery. She was getting so upset trying to be happy, and so tense trying to relax. I'm supposed to relax, and you're going so tense trying to relax. Stop trying to relax. I give you permission from Norway that you can be as tense as you possibly want. When I give them the permission, then of course they stop trying to be something different. And they're trying, they're wanting, the thing which causes them the stress. That vanishes. And then they're happy. No stress. As I was talking last night, I gave a talk of Buddhism and dogs, because this is the year of the dog, Chinese year of the dog. So I'm just looking after dogs this last couple of days. So dogs, they can go to sleep. Has anyone told a dog how to relax? They're really good. They just go and sit there and they do it. I'm supposed to relax. That's not how dogs feel. One of the great things about dogs, they never feel guilty. If they're sleeping all day, they feel quite okay with that. They don't need permission. However, people do. I'm not supposed to be lazy. How many of you can have a lazy day without feeling guilty? It's a guilt. Very good. So it's a guilt which is a problem. I'm supposed to be this, I'm supposed to be that. That is the problem. So this is actually, when you're meditating, for goodness sake, when you're meditating, freedom. The two types of freedom. Freedom of desire. No one's telling you what to do. Or the freedom from desire. You're not telling yourself what to do. Freedom from desire, just be. Relax. Easy. Should be the easiest thing in the world. But anyway, that's the problem that is supposed. Anyway, so there we go. That's hopefully answering some of these questions. The one from the UK before, how does one use individual Dhamma as medicine during meditation? Use these things, start the meditation. During the meditation, don't use anything. Just let it go, relax. At the end of the meditation, you can assess whether it works or not, but don't go thinking and doing this and doing that and doing something else in the middle of the meditation. That just interferes it. And it can be trained the same way as the body. Back to the US one. is because it works, if it works. That's how the training works. And you train yourself how to walk, train yourself how to play football, train yourself how to dance or whatever. And how you do that is, you get some feedback. Little by little, that's how we learn. So we learn how to relax, how to be peaceful, how to be healthy. Don't get told by others. Just learn from your own experience. Be aware and feel. It's very powerful. Okay, any questions from the audience here? Wow, you're all so amazed that nothing comes out of the mouth. Wow, that's really dumbfounded you, made you speechless. Okay, let's quit while I'm ahead. Okay, so let's pay respects to Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and then I'm sure there'll be a big line of people here asking their questions. Here we go. Excuse me, I did forget one thing, that the audio-visual team here, the ones who record this, make sure everything is working, they need some more assistance to keep this thing going for the next year. So if you've got any skills at all on audio-visual, and please see one of the AV people, such as, what's her name again? Nicole, yes. So very good. So make some loving kindness, some metta, some good karma, so that we can continue this organisation. Very good. So have a nice day, week. If you want to book on the retreat for next year, for the retreat for next week, sorry, that is online.